my art bead friends. You guys, oh, it's Friday. I'm so glad. Oh, have you ever just made it to a Friday and thought, I didn't think I was gonna. I thought this week was gonna beat me. No, I won week. So there. It's Friday. I made it. And so did you. Because here we are together for a fun show. Lots of beady goodness. You guys, I have so much in this show. I have so much information to share with you. I have beady goodness. I have a beautiful project. I have needles and thread, and oh, I cannot wait to get into it. So buckle up, because this is going to be a jam-packed show. Not only do I have a ton of beads to show you, but I do want to walk you through the project as well. So in order to do that, we got to get started quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, I do want to mention though, before we get going, that there will be a giveaway. So you want to stick around for the giveaway. I am really looking forward to sharing some sparkle with you guys that way. So definitely hang around long enough to see all of that. I mean, honestly, stick around until the end, because we do a little chitty chat at the end too. So you just want to stay for the whole thing. You don't want to miss anything. I'm going to talk to you guys about looming. I'm going to show you all of the necessities that you need to be successful at creating loomed projects. And though I'm not going to be able to walk you through every single detail, I want you to know that you can always come back to me and ask me any questions that you may have about this. And feel free, guys, to ask questions today during the live. So as you see here in the bottom, there is a comment section going on where Gina is, S Barb Girl is, Bridget from Maryland is, there is Miss Nicole, Lisa is there, and I want you to be there too. And that is a great place to post your questions, as well as just hanging out with this amazing community. I am looking forward to seeing your questions and to just see what you got going on. All right, so I'm going to get started with some beautiful sparkle, as I mentioned, and then we are going to move into some beautiful 6mm strand bundles. And then I'm going to show you how to put those onto the loom to get a beautiful project going. And yeah, let's look at some sparkle, and I'll tell you how you can shop while you're here. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so I have one of our mystery sparkle mixes, and it is a stunner. I love these. I love these so much. You guys, oh, you know how I feel about sparkle. I can never have enough sparkle. Now, we happen to have a couple of different mystery sparkle mixes, if you will, on artbeads.com, but this is the one that I am featuring today for you guys. This one is full of 6mm bicones that are absolutely stunning. You guys, if you didn't know any better, you would think that these were Austrian crystals, but you know what? They are Czech glass, and that is incredible to me. The quality on these is stunning. The sparkle, oh, they're so good. They're so good. Really beautiful mix of colors here. So if you want to add a little sparkle, this is a good one. This is a good one. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one, and you're going to find that you're going to get a lot of designs out of these mixes. A little goes a long way when it comes to sparkle, unless you just wanted to use all of these in one fabulous design, which is probably what I would do because I am big on the sparkle. But I also like to create earrings with these, and I can get a ton of earrings out of this mix. Now, while you're taking a look at the sparkle, I want you to notice that on the side of your screen, there's a shopping bag, and you can click on that at any point during today's show. And it's going to bring up all of the items that are in today's show. So if you, excuse me, if you come in late, or if you watch this on the replay, or whatever the circumstances may be, or maybe you're just impatient, you want to see all of the beady goodness that I have in the show, you can click on that shopping bag. It's going to bring up all of the items that I'm going to go through, and you can add those to your cart as well as check out, all while watching the show. It just makes me a little bit smaller while you're handling your business, but once you are finished and you check out, you can click on me and it will make me big again, so you don't have to navigate away. However, should you navigate away and need to find your way back, you can find us very easily at artbeads.com/live. Now, if you are joining us from Facebook, we make it easy for you to shop as well. There's a text bar at the top of your screen. You're going to type in the item codes for each one of the items in the show, and a link will be sent to your messenger to take you directly to those items over on the website. Now, here's the kicker. As easy as we make it for you to shop with us on Facebook, we still would like for you to join us over here on artbeads.com on the big show, because I can't see your comments if you're joining us from Facebook or YouTube. So I encourage you to come on over, make the transition. I know you might be comfortable and safe over there in YouTube, but if you'll come over here and join us, I can see your comments and your questions, and you can enter to win. You have to be part of the YouTube. Wow. You have to be part of the artbeads.com/live to enter to win when we do our giveaway. So I would love to invite you to come on over and join us that way. All right, I'm going to clean up our little sparkle mess here. It's the best kind of mess to have. And we're going to take a look at some 6mm Czech glass bead strand bundles. Now, these are not new. We've had these, but I wanted to bring them back out again because I think sometimes we get caught up in all of the new things that are going on the website, and sometimes we forget about some of the amazing things that are there, that have been there. And I wanted to remind you about these fantastic bundles. So I have these beautiful 6mm Czech fire polish strand bundles. They are four strands each, and they all have really cool names. So this one is Galactic. Is this Galactic Glow? I think it is Galactic Glow. I tend to get the names mixed up, so I hope that I got that right. But this one is a couple of beautiful metallic blues, a jet with the AB finish, and then the clear with the AB finish. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. This is a great way to build up your strands. It's a great way to build your collection of Czech fire polish. They're such a versatile bead. They can be used as a spacer bead. They can be used as a standalone star of the show kind of bead. It's just a good staple bead to have in your collection. And I'm going to show you today how to use these strands just as they are to create beautiful pieces of jewelry. So stick around. This is what we're going to be doing with some of these gorgeous strands. So this is the bundle that is Galactic Glow. I'm going to move this one off to the side because I've got a bunch of these to show you. Now, some of these have sold out from their debut. I'm showing you the ones that we have left. And I heard that there's a possibility that we may be releasing some more of these in a different size in the very near future. So if you love these, stick around because we got more things coming your way on artbeads.com all the time. How long are the strands? That's a good question. I'll let you know here in just a second. This one is the Time Traveler's Trinkets. This one is a gorgeous curation. Ooh, I love that deep garnet red. So pretty. These are absolutely stunning. All right, let me get you the measurement on these. So these are standard Czech glass bead strands, and they are 6-inch strands. So 6-inch strands, which is pretty industry standard for 6mm fire polish. Beautiful, beautiful 4-strand bundle. Again, this one was the Time Traveler's Trinkets. If you like steampunk designs, this would be a great combo for that. Though I think it's just a really pretty one for fall in general. So pretty. All right. Moving on. Nicole says, sometimes it's like watching an infomercial, but wait, there's more. Exactly. Exactly. I love this one. This one is called Tickle Me Peach. Oh, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Beautiful peach with the AB finish, and then this like kind of light maroon. It's not a deep dark maroon. It's kind of rosy, and then this peachy one. and then the silver to go with it. Just beautiful. I love, love, love these color combinations. I don't know if you guys remember, I've said a lot of things. I've been doing this a long time, and you guys have seen me in a lot of places for a lot of years. And I'm sure that I've probably told the same stories 1,500 times. But this one in particular, I struggled with color for a very long time when it came to creating designs. Color is just not one of the things that came very easily to me. I had to practice it. I had to learn it. And so if you're one of those people who kind of struggles with color, I'm much better at it now. But if you struggle with it, having these little bundles make life a whole lot easier, because somebody's already done the hard work for you by putting these gorgeous colors together. This one is Elphaba's Song in beautiful greens, and they're not just greens, they're blue greens, which I think are just beautiful, just beautiful. I think I may use this one in our project here in just a little bit. So pretty. I love that. This one is a double color, so it's blue and like a greenish yellow. I love that. I think that's fantastic. Gorgeous green here with a little bronze finish, and then the two metallics. They're so pretty. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. I've got more. So many more for you guys. All right, this one is Sky and Sea. This is a one that if you love blue, you're going to love this one. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So pretty. There's like a matte aquamarine blue, and then this light sapphire. This is my favorite. Oh my goodness, that's so pretty. And then the metallic, and then the deep kind of cobalt blue with the bronze finish to it. Absolutely stunning. So pretty. All right. Oops. All right, this is another one of my favorites. This one is brown and blue. I love this one. This one is kind of preppy. This one is kind of classy. Something about this one, I don't know, it kind of screams school spirit. Beautiful matte brown and like a peachy orange, a garnet, or actually that's more like a ruby red and a navy blue. This color combo is awesome. So pretty. So pretty. Really, really nice. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I've got 3 more. And then I'm going to show you guys some other things. And guys, don't forget, right now we have seed beads up to 35% off. Now, I'm not necessarily featuring seed beads in my show today, but I think you'll be inspired by what I do and realize how you could use your seed beads on the loom as well. And I think most people think about seed beads when they think about the loom, maybe not Czech fire polish. So maybe I'm showing you something new today. We're going to use a couple of seed beads, but you definitely can use seed beads on the loom to create some incredible designs. This one is the Night Dragon's Hoard, which, yes, absolutely can see that. This is like sparkling jewels that are found the mountainside, big dragon watching over them. So pretty. You can't go wrong with black. The sparkle on a black fire polish. Oh, there's nothing like that. It's really stunning. All right, 2 more. This one is one of my absolute top favorites of all time. This one is Driftwood on the Surf, and this color palette is one of my absolute favorites. It has everything in it that I love. Beautiful blues and greens, and then the browns and tans. Yes, love it. And then the one strand in here that kind of looks like, it looks like rock. And you guys know how I feel about that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The textures, the colors, this little bundle, absolutely adore. Absolutely adore it. It's very boho, but yet still fall, or could be beachy. You could do so many things with this little color palette. So pretty. So pretty. All right, and then last one to show you guys is the Earth's Riches. This is the Earth's Riches. This is also another really beautiful. They're all beautiful, let's be honest. That's why they were so popular when we debuted these. Now, it's been a minute since we have debuted them, so a lot of them have sold out. The ones that I'm showing you today are the ones that are left. Look at this strand. That peridot green. Yes, absolutely beautiful. It's just amazing to me what fire polish and Czech glass in general can be. It can be stone. It can look like gemstones. It can be crystals as sparkly as Austrian crystals. It can be literally anything. This whole little set seems to glow from within, doesn't it? It's like it has its own internal glow to it. Just beautiful. So, so pretty. Yep, love it. All right, guys, so as I mentioned, these are the ones that are left. There's not a lot of them left, so you probably don't want to wait around too long on them. I know it's been a while since we debuted them, and then they may have been forgotten about. Maybe you forgot that we had these. So I wanted to bring them back, give them some love, show them to you guys, and kind of tease you a little bit because we may have these coming again in a different size. So I would grab these up now. Who knows what is going to be headed your way in the future, but definitely take advantage of the ones that we have available right now because they are stunning. They're absolutely stunning. Now, I have taken 4 of the strands, okay, and I have created a beautiful project on the loom to create a bracelet, and not just any bracelet, but a wide, fabulous cuff bracelet on the Jewel Loom, which you can do these in just restringing them, sort of. Well, not really, but you get it's like looking at the 4 strands together. You can do them this way, or you can take them and you can create some wonderful patterns and designs if you want to. But I love the solid strands. So just to take the gorgeous bundle and just turn it into a bracelet, for me, it's like all the hard work is done. All I got to do is just put it on the loom and turn it into something yummy. I've done it with the blue. Let me show you. Lift this up just a little bit. I've done it with the blue. Isn't that gorgeous? And if that's not your style, you can make it, you don't have to make it 4 wide. You can do 2 wide. You could mix seed beads in if you wanted to. You can do so many things. The loom is one of those things where you can really get super, super creative. It's very easy to use, but I think it really shows off these strands, or these bundles, I should say, because it's not just one strand. I think it shows off the bundles in such a fun way. Really just lets the beads be beautiful. So this is what we got going on today. Now we're going to talk about the loom, and we're also going to talk about all of the things that you need on the loom. We're also going to talk about finishing techniques because that's where most people get hung up. So I want to be able to show you guys and talk you through a lot of the finishing techniques, and I've got some examples to show you. Now, the finishing technique that we are going to be using today is with these clasps that you slide on. It's a tube and you slide it on, and underneath there are some seed beads, and we'll talk about that as we put the project together, but that's what's holding this beautiful little tube on. That is just one of a bunch of different ways that you can finish your looming projects. So I want to show you a couple of examples, and then I will show you how to use them, because if you've never done any looming before, it can be a little confusing. But I want to show you that if you're interested in the slides here, I have them for you guys. They're all in the show. So all you got to do is click on that shopping bag and it's going to bring up all of the items. So this is the one that I'm using for our project today. This is a slide connector from Bead, and has all of the information for it on the back. It's really simple to use. I'm going to show you how to do that. This one is the right size for my bracelet, but we have, rather, not they do make, but we have available for you a couple of different sizes and metal colors. So if you wanted something a little bit smaller, we have it in the gold. just a little bit smaller, right? So you can make your bracelet thinner if you wanted to. Let's see, is this one's even smaller than that, I believe. Yeah, this one is a 20 millimeter and this one is a 13 millimeter. So you can see even smaller. This one would probably be good for like a 2-strand bracelet if you're using the Czech fire polish. Now, if you're using seed beads or other beads, it's going to be a little bit different, but a nice short one there, also in that beautiful gold color. We have a couple of different sizes in some of the other ones. So here's a 20 millimeter in gunmetal. So if you love that gunmetal, this is going to be a wonderful choice for your fall designs. I think this one would look really, really pretty with the dragons, the night dragon bundle. I think that would be a really pretty choice to go with that, or the gold, but I really do like this hematite color. I think that one's really pretty. We have the antique brass. There's one, a 30 millimeter. So this is going to get you a nice wide design. This one looks really pretty. With this one, that was my favorite. I think antique brass would be the perfect complement to that. So pretty. We also have antique copper. This one's a little bit smaller. This is a 16 millimeter. Another antique brass in a smaller size. So this one's also a 16 millimeter. And then a 30 millimeter in the gold color. Now this is just one of a bazillion ways that you can finish a loom project, but I do find that this one is very, very easy, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use this in just a little while when we get into the project. So just know that you do have different sizes and different metals that are available depending on the project that you are creating. So keep all of that in mind. Now, if you like something a little bit different than a slide, we do have the ribbon ends. And I have examples of all of these to show you guys in finished pieces, just in case you have never seen these before. So I have a couple of different options for these. We have the 15 millimeter. This one is a sterling silver U-shaped ribbon end. Let me show you what that looks like when you use it on a project. So we're going to talk about how you can put this on your projects, and you're going to need something to go with this. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. This is the ribbon ends, and as you can see, they come in different sizes and different shapes, different kinds. This is a really long one that I've put on the end of my loom project here. This one is a bit smaller. It's U-shaped. You've got a lot of surface area here, which is really nice. Also have this in stainless steel 10 millimeter. This is more kind of the traditional shape that you can see. Even more of that traditional shape. We have some that have that basket weave. It's very similar to what I have here. Let's see if I've got one that's got the basket weave on it. I do. So, oops, for this little design here, that's what the basket weave one looks like. Right, and then two more of these, and I'm going to talk about how you use these. Okay, there's another ribbon crimp end. This one has that hammer tone to it. Really beautiful. And then another of the U-shaped, just a little bit smaller. This one is a 10 millimeter, where the one that I showed you at first, this one is a 15 millimeter. So just a bit smaller, but still that nice U shape. These are really, really pretty. So how do you use these? Since I'm not going to show these to you on an actual project, and I am going to show you the other ones, I want to kind of talk you through this. So there's actually two different ways that you can use the ribbon ends on your projects. And what you do is you create what is called selvage. And this was a piece that I had taken apart for one reason or another. But the selvage, we're going to create a little tiny bit of selvage just to get our project started. But basically it's where you take your cord and you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, kind of weaving it until you build up a base. This is called selvage. There's no beads here. This is what you hook or you crimp down your ribbon end onto, so it has something to hold onto. And then you do the same thing. You build the selvage on the other end, and and you put your ribbon end over it and you crimp it down. And then those ribbon ends, as you can see, have the little loops on them so that you can attach your findings to those. So you can put your jump rings on them. You can put just your clasp on it, or whatever you want to do. There's a couple of different examples that I have. However, for me personally, now this one I have done and I've just crimped directly to the selvage. So you can see, and it's not going to come off. It's on there really, really well. But my favorite way to do this is to add an actual ribbon to it. So what I will do is I will create the selvage, and then I will take a piece of ribbon and I will lay the ribbon down and glue the ribbon to the selvage, and then take my ribbon end and crimp it on, or you know, crush it, squish it down onto the ribbon instead of the selvage, because the ribbon is a solid piece. It doesn't have those little openings in between there. So covering it with an actual ribbon is a really nice option. Now, I can make life much, much easier for you with this by showing you some ribbon, because some of you may not know this, but we have ribbon on art beads. We have ribbon. So if you want to use the ribbon ends and you want some ribbon, guess what? I've got it for you. Now, I only picked out a couple in a couple of different sizes, but this is just a sampling of what is actually available. So you buy your ribbon by the foot on artbeads.com. I picked out some of the small ones. So this is 1/4 of an inch, and then this one is 3/8 of an inch. And the reason that I picked those two is because your smaller little ribbon ends are going to fit on these really, really nicely. See how that's going to fit just right over the top of that, and with the 3/8. So I wanted to try to stick with the ribbons that were going to be the right size depending on your finishing ribbon end. So there's the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch in beautiful gray satin. So either one of those. All right. I included in the show some 3/8 in white. And again, all the ribbon is really inexpensive. You can buy it by the foot. You just use a little bit for your project, and then you can use your ribbon for other things. You can make beautiful bookmarks like Becky makes with the ribbons. You can create some hair accessories. You can make all kinds of beautiful pieces of jewelry using the ribbon. So never underestimate the power of a beautiful ribbon. So there's the 3/8 in white. I've got a 3/8 in black, which is one of my favorites because it tends to just kind of disappear in the design. It's very camouflage when you put the ribbon ends over the top of it, and it's just kind of classy. There is hunter green in 3/8, and I also kind of picked colors that I thought would go really well with the bead bundles, as you know, we have those in the show. So if you're looking for a project ready to go, I'm trying to take care of all of the things that you need. All right. Beautiful blue in 3/8. Love this turquoise blue. The turquoise blue would look really, really nice with some of the blue bundles that we have. And then two more. I've got gold in 1/4 inch. Another good one that's going to just kind of disappear. May not look like it because it seems bright and springy and in your face, but when you put that ribbon end over it, it's just a whisper of color. So pretty. And then last but not least, I pulled a 1/4 of an inch red. A lot of them I think would look really nice with the red. So if you want to get ribbon and you want to use the ribbon ends, they're really, really easy to use. As I mentioned, you create the selvage with your cord, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And then you can either just put your ribbon end over it or glue your ribbon down and attach your ribbon end to it, which I personally kind of prefer. It feels a little safer for me. All right. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't love the tube, the slide ones. I love the slide ones. Use those in a lot of projects. There's one of the slides where I just used it on the top. Again, a loom piece here. You can use these slides for other things. We did this one together a while back. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we put this one together. You can go back and watch this one on replay, and I walk you through it. And then I also like to do a combination. So this one is a combination where I used the slide on the top, and then I used some ribbon on the bottom because I didn't want to attach anything to the bottom. So I just used the ribbon to cover up that selvage on the end. And you can see where I just glued it to cover all of that up, make it nice and neat. So it's really nice to have options, you know, have a little bit of everything. If you think looming is something that you're going to spend some time doing, it might be worth grabbing a couple of these closures options. All right. And then one closure option that I'm just going to kind of breeze past a little bit because I don't want to spend too much time on it. We do need to get into the project, is a button. And buttons are always a good idea. You can always just go with a button. You can see the one that I have on, I've used a button as my closure. And of course, Art Beads has a ton of buttons to choose from. There's tiara cast buttons, there's Czech glass buttons. So a button is always an option. If you don't want to deal with regular hardware, you can just tie some knots and always just use a button to secure your bracelet. So just a few of the many ways that you can finish off your looming projects. Now, to get started on our loom and to save some time, I have already warped my loom with my thread. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Jewel Loom, we have some of these. They are available in the shopping bag. You just click on it. You can pull one of these up. I went ahead and warped it, but there are really nice instructions included with this loom to walk you step by step, written instructions and pictures to go with it. You can also see where I've done previous projects and our other designers have done projects if you need help warping your loom. When I am warping my loom for large beads like this, I do not use every single groove. You can see that I have skipped over, and I've put my thread in and skipped over 1, 2, 3, and put my next warp thread in the 4th. That gives me a large enough space here to accommodate a 6mm bead, as you can see, like we've done here. Okay. Now, there are other things that are in the shopping bag for you. The cord, if you need some, or thread, I should say. I've got some bead-along thread. I use Wildfire in the project. I've got this in the 0.006 and the 0.008 that is available. If you are not into the Wildfire, you might like the Fireline. So there is some Fireline in white. I've got this in 8-pound, 10-pound, and 4-pound, and that actually refers to the strength. The poundage is actually the breaking point of the thread. So it would take 8 pounds of pull on this to break this thread. But if you are into the Fireline or you just like the white, the Firelines are a really nice option. You can see we even have them in the big 125 yard spools. Now, I'm personally a Wildfire person, but I respect all of the other types of cords. I like the Wildfire the best. It is color fast, so that color is not going to bleed off on you. It is thermally bonded. It's not going to stretch. It's really nice to work with. But the Fireline is very similar. So pick whichever one you think you are going to use the most. The gray disappears as well as the white. So I don't think you can go wrong there. But try them out. Maybe get one of each if you've never used them before. They're great for not just looming projects, but seed bead projects in general. And then, of course, I have a ton of selection of needles in the show as well. But I think my favorite is the assortment that I have. So if you wanted to buy like the individual sizes, I do have those listed. So if you just wanted a pack of 10s or a pack of 12s, I have those in the shopping bag for you. But I do love this assortment here where I have some 10s, 11s, and 12s to work with. All right, so to put a design together, super easy. After you have put your, I think I just mixed up these I just mixed up this bundle, but that's okay. I think I grabbed the wrong 4 beads, but we're going to go with these 4 for our design. So what you're going to do when you are creating your design is, first things first, you are going to use your wildfire or your fire line or your 1G, whatever it is that you want to use to create your warps. You want 1 extra cord than the number of beads you're going to use. So for us, we're using 4 beads across. So that means we need 5 warp threads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means that I can put 4 beads, 2, 3, 4, right? And again, all of this is in the instructions with the Jewel Loom, super easy to follow, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys how to get this started. We're gonna do a couple rows, we're gonna do a giveaway, and then we're gonna finish this off so that you can see how easy it is to create a project on the loom. All right, so one of the big questions that I always get asked is, how do I thread my needles? And it's super, super easy to thread your needles if you use a pair of pliers. So I'm gonna show you. So there's my needle. Here's my thread. For me personally, I like to use my flat nose pliers, and I will just squeeze the thread. See how it flattens it out, makes it nice and flat? Now I can just very, very easily just slip that right into the eye of the needle and pull, and I'm done. It didn't take me any time at all. Super quick and easy. All right, when you are creating designs on your loom, you always work left to right. And the first things that you do is you create a little bit of selvage. The selvage is going to help anchor your beads. To do that, you take just your needle and thread, and you are going to go over, under, over, under. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle, I'm going under the first thread, over the second, under the third, over the fourth, and under the fifth. Okay, and then I'm going to pull. Whoops, under the fifth. Okay, I'm going to pull all the length. Whoops, I forgot that my cord was really short because we're not doing a full project here. Under, over, under, and pull. You want to leave yourself about 6 inches worth of a tail, okay, here. And you're going to take your needle, you're going to go back the other direction. So this time you're going to go over, under, over, and pull. Now, to create your selvage that you would cover up with the ribbon crimp, you do this several times, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you're going to push all that together nice and tight. And after you've done that, you're going to have what looks like this, right? But for us, because we're using the slide on, we don't need to do all of this. So I can skip this part. This back and forth that I've done twice here is just to anchor my cord so it's not going to slip off of my loom. Now I'm going to take 8 seed beads, and I'm using a size 8, and it does not matter what color they are. These can be just your junk beads, your throwaway beads. These are not, these are my good Tohos, but you can use whatever kind of throwaway beads you want to, or it makes no difference. You're not going to see these because these are going to go inside that slide. So if they match your project or they don't match your project, makes absolutely no difference. But you're going to pick up 8 of these size 8 seed beads on your needle. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, you're going to pick up 8 seed beads. That is only 7, right? 4, 5, 6, need one more. And you're going to take your needle and thread, and you are going to go underneath your warps, okay? And then you are going to pop these beads using your finger into the rows. 2 beads per row, just like this, right? So I have 2 beads here, 2 beads here, 2 beads and 2 beads, and I'm holding those in place with my finger. Now I'm going to take my needle and thread, and I'm going to go back through those beads from right to left, going over the top of my warps. Now that may be kind of weird for you at first, but what you want is, you can see how you can see my needle over the top of my warp threads, the warp threads being the ones that run up and down. Okay, that means that this needle and my thread are going over the top of these. I am kind of taking that needle and kissing the roof, the inside ceiling, if you will, of those beads, and I'm going to pull. And those beads are going to stay in place because I have created a little sandwich with my thread on the bottom and the top of my warp threads holding these beads in place. Now, I don't want to pull these tight. If I pull these tight, it's going to distort my rows. I don't want to do that just yet. I want to leave them kind of loose. They don't fit perfectly in the rows. There's a lot of wiggle room in there. That's fine. Leave it just like it is for now. Okay, leave those beads in place, and now you're ready to pick up beads that are actually in your design. So I'm going to pick up 4 of the 6mm beads. Now remember, I'm using some of those beautiful beads from the bundles. Okay, and I'm over here on the left picking up 4 of those gorgeous 6mm fire polish beads. I'm going underneath. Okay, and I'm going to take my beads, hold them in my hand, and I'm going to pull my needle and thread, pull out all the slack of my thread. And then once I pulled out the slack, I am gently going to use my finger to push those beads up into the rows. And I'm going to hold those there in place and take my needle. I'm going to go back through those beads from right to left over the top of my warps, taking the needle, and I'm kissing the ceiling of each one of those beads, making sure that I am going over the warps. And then when I pull, those beads will stay in place. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more rows, and then we are going to move on from this. All right, so another of my beads. Eric can't see. Eric needs to open his eyes. No. Golly. Okay, hold on. I'll show you. Oh, look. He smited me. Did you see that? Eric did that. He was like, oh yeah, watch this. All right, picking up my beads. I have dropped off my needle because I shouldn't be talking smack. All right, underneath my warps. Okay, now pulling out all of the slack. Is this close enough for you, buddy? All right, so this is actually really helpful. So you can see I'm holding all of those beads in place. You're welcome. All right, hold those beads in place and take your needle and notice how I'm going over the top of the warp. So I'm going back through those beads, and you can see that metal just barely between each one. So you can see that needle gliding across the top of each one of those warps, and then when it comes out on the edge over here, it is on the top of the warp. And I pull, and I have created a little sandwich. And you can actually see that when you look at your design from the side. So you can see you've got a cord that's running underneath. Katie, right? It's running underneath, it's looping around, and then it's running over the top. So you can see it's like created a sandwich over these warp threads. Okay, we'll do another row. So I'll pick up each one of the beads, always working from left to right and then back. Okay, whether you are using fire polish beads or seed beads or whatever kinds of beads you want to, you're always going to start on the left, bring your thread to the right, pop your beads into place. Then you're going to take your needle and thread, and you're going to go back through all those beads, making sure, just kind of imagine as you're doing this that you're scraping the ceiling of the inside of each one of these beads. That will help to ensure that that needle goes over the top of your warps, because you can't really see that happening unless you can see that little glint of metal from your needle just barely shining there between those beads. Otherwise, you just kind of have to hope that you've made it across the top and haven't accidentally stuck your needle underneath the warps when you're going through your beads. So if you can just kind of imagine yourself scraping the inside tops of those beads, it'll help to make sure that you are in fact going over. All right, so you're just going to work your way down your entire project, right? Creating as much length as you need for your design. All right, now I'm going to show you one that I have already made it that far with, okay? So very quickly, you can see there's my row of my seed beads at the top, and I've made it all the way down here to the bottom, okay? And I'm ready to pick up 8 seed beads. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, 8 seed beads. These are going to go inside that slide clasp. So underneath the warps, and then just like when we started, we're going to take those beads and 2 per row. Okay, and you're going to hold those in place. Whoops, one of mine snuck out. Hold on. Okay, and then you're going to take your needle, same thing, back through all of those beads. Now this time, we didn't do this at the top, but we are doing this at the bottom. We're going to pull, and we're going to really pull. We're going to snug this down really, really tight. See how it has pulled in my thread right here? It's exactly what I want. I'm going to pull that in nice and tight, and then I'm actually going to go back through these beads another time. This time I'm going to go underneath the warp, so I've kind of turned this on its side to make sure you can see my needle is going underneath all of the warps. And I'm going to pull, 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 tight, tight, tight. And you can see I'm pulling in this side as well. And then I'm going to do the same thing, going back the other direction over the top. So I'm just going back and forth a couple of times to make this row really secure and really tight. Okay, and I'm like cinching in its little waist, if you want to look at it that way. Then I'm going to take my needle and thread, and I'm going to go between the warp, the outside warp, between the beads and the outside warp, and I'm going to create a loop with my thread and take my needle back through that, just ultimately kind of creating a half hitch knot, which that time I actually did not create a knot. I forgot to stick my needle through there correctly. And then pull, and you are pulling a knot. You're tying the thread to itself on that outside row. See how I've tied like a little tiny knot? Now, you can go back and forth through this row a couple times if you want to, or you can go up through your beads and reinforce your beads a few times if you want to. Okay, totally up to you. Go through, reinforce. I like to reinforce the entire thing because I'm a little crazy. Ask Wanda, she'll tell you all about it. So I used to teach Jewel Loom classes on a regular basis, and I would reinforce the entire piece. I'm not going to do that here, but you're going to do all of that, and then you're going to cut your thread or burn your thread, however you want to get your thread off of your piece here. Where's my thread burner? Let me use my thread burner. Okay. So I'm going to burn that off. Maybe. All right. And then you're going to do the exact same thing up here. You're going to undo your selvage. We've got about 10 minutes till the hour. We are going to do that giveaway here in just a second. I just want to get this row ready. We're going to do the giveaway, and then I'll show you how to put the slide clasp on, okay? I promise we are doing that, and I have not forgotten about it. I'm going to take that selvage undone, okay? Take my cord where we started, or my thread rather, and I'm going to thread my needle on to this end, and I'm going to do the same thing. I need to pull that row of seed beads nice and snug. You don't want to do it in the beginning because you want to be sure that you leave enough room for your fire polish beads. There's always a chance that you could pull this too tight and then really struggle to get your fire polish in there. So I wait and do this part at the end. See how I pulled that nice and tight? And then I'm going to go back through those beads. I kind of turn it to the side here so that I can see that I'm going underneath the warps as best as I can without getting my hands in the way. Okay, back through the other side. And again, pull, 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 nice and snug, nice and snug. You can go through it again if you want to. Whatever you want to do, pull it nice and tug, or no, pull it nice and snug with a tug, okay? And then take your needle, create a loop with your thread, and then take your needle through the loop to create a half hitch knot. And then you can take your thread, your needle and thread, through a couple of rows of your beads. Don't cut at your knot. Get my needle through there. Come on now. All right, pull. And then you can cut your cord off or burn it off or whatever works for you. All right. Then you're going to cut this off the loom, okay? Now, let's do a giveaway. I'm going to cut this off. While I'm cutting this off, we're going to do a giveaway. Now, if you guys will remember, the last time we did a giveaway, we did a giveaway in a new way, where we did a who did this? Who made this? So basically what has happened is I have gone on to Serious Art Beaters, okay, and I have picked out a design from one of our community members, and I'm going to push pause on the show here, and a picture of that design is going to come up on your screen. And what you are going to do then is you're going to take a look at it, and then your job is to guess who, first and last name of the community member who made that design. First correct comment in the comment section when we come back is the winner. Not only does that person win, but the person who created the design also wins. So we get two winners in one out of this. So if it happens to be your design that you see when I pause the show, don't yell out, that's mine, that's mine. Let somebody guess it first, because you're already going to win. And what are you going to win today? Today you are going to win one of our sparkle mystery bags. So that beautiful bag of sparkle that I showed you at the beginning, we're going to have two winners of these gorgeous bags of sparkle today. The creator who created the design and the person who guessed correctly who that person was. Now, these designs have been posted in Serious Art Beaters on Facebook. That is our Facebook group. If you're not a part of our Facebook group, this is a great opportunity for you to go to join our Facebook group and post pictures, because you never know when your picture might be selected and you might win. So, all right, who's ready? I'm going to push pause, okay? And you guys are going to take a look at the picture, and then when I come back, the first person who has the correct answer wins, okay? All right, I'm going to hit pause right now. Here we go. It's the name right, wins. Ready? On your mark, get set, go. First person, on your mark, get set, go. First person to name our community member who created our fabulous design, they win, and our creator. Lots of answers coming in. Haven't seen the right one yet. Who did it? Who made it? No, it wasn't me, and it wasn't one of our design team members. These are community members. These are you guys. One of you guys. Now, it may be inspired by a design that I did. It does. This game makes you work a little bit. While you guys are working on that, I'm going to take each one of these cords, and basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking them and I'm tying them together, and I'm pulling those down next to the beads. Okay. I haven't seen the right answer yet. This one's hard. This is a hard one. It's a tough one. Somebody out there is going to get it, though. I know you will. Keep guessing. Nope, it's not Cat. Cat won last week. Nope, not Cat. Wow. I'm a little shocked. No answers, no right answers yet. All right, y'all keep guessing. Keep guessing. All right, I've tied all these cords down, and then I'm going to trim all of these off. Keep guessing. No right winner yet. I've never seen them stumped either. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, so I trimmed all of those off. Now, you want to use some glue here. I've got some E6000 in the shopping cart. Add a little bit of glue to each one of those knots. And then, while you guys are still scrambling to find an answer, nobody's gotten it yet. It's not Patrick Mahomes. Oh my goodness, y'all are killing me. That's funny. I see a winner. I see a winner. I see a winner. I'm gonna wait and let Michelle. All right. See how this is open, and you can see where it's got that slide on it. Nicole said Sarah must have chosen the design from 1990. No, and we did get a winner. Congratulations, Debbie K. Our community member who created that beautiful design was Diane Blakely. And I know I've seen Diane here in the comments section. I know you guys have seen her and our winner. So both Diane and Debbie K are both going to win one of those mystery sparkles. You guys, that was fantastic. Fantastic. All right, I'm just sliding this on, being very careful over my warp threads, but I'm sliding those 8mm or those size 8 seed beads right into that. Look at that. Now they've disappeared completely. So has the ends of my cords. I'm going to take my finger, or you can use your pliers to fold that end over, and look at that. You've got a nice clean end on your design, and you're going to do just the exact same thing over here on this end. Congratulations. That's so awesome. All right, so where I have tied all of these down, or tied them to each other, it's just however. Basically, this part right here, you're just tying your cords just for a little extra security. All that's going to be tucked up inside that slide. It just makes them a little bit easier to manage. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing. Add a little bit of glue to those knots. And then very carefully with your open slide connector, you're going to slide those beads in. Now take extra precautions when you're going over your warp threads, but you're going to slide all of that in there just like that. Close that over with your finger or with your pliers, and you're done. How beautiful. Clean ends. You didn't have to weave anything back through. Nice and neat. You've got a gorgeous bracelet. Look at that. Those strands, the strand bundles are the best for this project. So pretty. They're long enough to create a beautiful bracelet. You could do them. You could do one for every one of the bundles. How pretty. How pretty. And then if you decide that the slide is not your cup of tea, grab some of the ribbon. Grab some of the ribbon that we had in the show and some of the ribbon ends. Cover up your selvage with your ribbon, a little bit of glue, and then just put your ribbon end over it. And then you've got a loop here where you can add your hardware as well. Beautiful designs. Looming projects do not have to be hard. These are supposed to be fun projects. I can't tell you the number of times. I'm going to turn you guys around. The number of times I have had people tell me, because I used to teach looming classes. I did 1 a week, sometimes 2 a week, depending on what was going on. I worked on the loom for a very long time. I have looming in my blood. That's a story for another day. But I cannot tell you the number of times people would say, I have the most beautiful project on the loom, but it's been sitting on the loom for 5 years because I don't know how to finish it. That part can be kind of scary if you don't know what your options are. But the truth is that there are a lot of really simple options for finishing these off. And it doesn't have to be a scary thing at all. You are just going to use either a little crimp with some ribbon or a slide on with some seed beads inside there. Easy peasy, easy peasy. And your designs are beautiful. The fun should be in creating the piece, not creating the piece and then panicking at the end. So hopefully I've helped you guys. I hope so. I loaded the show up with everything you need so you can get your needles, your thread, your loom, your beads, your glue, everything that you need. Go ahead, make sure that you've got everything included in your shopping cart. And you can go ahead and check out right now, because I tell you, sometimes when people walk away from those carts and they come back later, some of the items are gone. Particularly when we have a deal going on like we do right now with our seed beads up to 35% off. We only have a handful of the 6mm strand bundles left. Don't want to wait too long. If you walk away from that cart, there's no guarantee those items will still be there when you come back later. So use this as an opportunity to go ahead and check completely out. And if anybody's got any questions here at the end, I'm going to scroll back through to see what I missed. Wanda says, bundle up now. Exactly. Is one value pack enough to make a bracelet? Yes, that is exactly what I use to create. So just one of the bundles will definitely be enough to create. And you can see when you have your clasp, it's got a nice extension chain on it. There's only about 1 inch of space here. That's just enough for me to put my clasp on with my extension. If you want an extra long bracelet, then maybe grab 2. But I find that with the extension chain, this is going to really accommodate a ton of sizes. So I think that you've got everything you need. Wanda says, ask Sarah how many looms she owns. So let's see. For jewel looms, I probably have about 10 of the jewel looms. I have 4 of the baby looms, and then wooden looms, I think I have 11 or 12. And I have big ones and small ones and round ones, and listen, I may have a problem, but I come by it honestly. As I said, my looming is in my blood. That was my grandfather worked in the textiles industry for a million years and loomed wedding napkins for my grandmother out of textiles that he created. You know, I have spent a large part of my life watching cotton come from the field into the laboratory and be tested for quality and then turned into thread. I have seen that from step 1, where it has been planted and picked, and then all the way into where it gets shipped off to be put, you know, to designers to create your blue jeans. So that process is just ingrained in me. So looming is something that I can do in my sleep. I mean, it's just one of those things. But yeah, so I might own a few. I don't know. I might. I might own a few. Yeah. Yeah, this jewelry thing I got going on, I've kind of come by it pretty honest with that. And then my grandmother made, you know, traditional seed bead jewelry, Native American seed bead jewelry. And then I went down the whole rabbit hole with macrame. So jewelry has been one of those things that I just kind of walked into. It was meant to be, I guess. Shelly says, setting the warp width, do you hold your 6mm beads next to the loom? Yes. Oh, and I can show you that right now. So I don't even have to turn the camera back around. That's a great question. And then we will go. I don't want to keep you guys around too long, but I do like to have this opportunity at the end for you to close out your cart and for you to ask any questions that you may have. Let me find my needle that I have now lost. So I'm going to have to use something that is not a needle because I don't know what has happened to my needle. So we're going to pretend for a second with an eye pin. But yes, so whether I'm using the 6mm fire polish, whether I'm using seed beads, whether I am using Checkmate squares, I will thread those on, and then I hold it right up next to the grooves to see how many grooves it takes to measure the width of the bead. And that's how I know how far apart to set my warp threads. Now, here's a little secret. If you are off by one groove, it's not going to make or break the piece. The goal, obviously, is to keep your warp threads nice and even as you go. And that's why I didn't cinch them down at the beginning. But if your beads are a little bit thinner or a little bit wider than that groove, it's okay. Your thread is going to flex just a little bit. So don't sweat it too much if you're off by a groove, either too long or too short. So it doesn't need to stress you out by any sense. Nicole says everyone loves Sara bonus time. I like bonus time too. Never know what I'm gonna say. Could be a train wreck. You just don't know. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. As always, I appreciate all of you. Thanks for hanging out with me, letting me be a part of your Friday and letting me be a part of your beady journey. Please don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter and sign up for our text messages. It's a great way to stay in the know of everything that is happening on artbeads.com. Also, be sure that you are posting your pictures on Serious Art Beaters on our Facebook group. You never know when your picture might be selected, or you might know the creator of the picture that is posted, and you might get to win a prize. We love our community and we want to interact with you guys. We want to raise you guys up because you are so talented and so creative, and we love to see what you're doing with your art beads. So keep on posting, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back with you same time, same place next week. Be sure you're checking out all of our other amazing designers as well, and I will see you soon. Mwah! Bye.